somewhat anti-authoritarian and somewhat not very happy about the Roman occupation, right? So, like, what's antithetical to those things? A late-stage capitalist who doesn't see the value in human beings other than the monetary value, that wants a combination of religion and money together, that wants authoritarianism. Like, who's that? Who do we automatically think of as that? Real question. Like, based on that criteria, who in your mind pops up as the Antichrist?
Right?
Say that again.
He's already orange.
I mean, that's one of them.
I think the talk might be about the Antichrist being, in a way, like an innocent man, in the sense that they were made the scapegoat and we cannot be made aware of the fact. We're aware of the fact that they're the scapegoat, and it nullifies the magic of having the scapegoat. And so that part I thought was the super interesting part. I'm like, oh wow, if you're really going to go in there and make an apologetic, for the archetypal, like, evil figure of Christianity, or I would love to go fly on the wall at this thing.
Dr. James, I think Peter Thiel and Rene Girard, the way they live their life and their system of ethics are miles and miles apart. I think Peter Thiel is just going to spin a very quotable saint. One of the more saintly people that lived in the 20th century is going to spin his out of context. I think the saintly Rene Girard would be spinning in his grave if he knew what the arguments were. But also, everything out of any of this is going to be public and broadcast.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's private. It's very private.
Yeah. A huge axiom
I'm going to be making a fireball.
Christian ethics and political theory
The
is
first thing that I need is some
greed is bad. Not greed is good. I don't think Peter Thiel caught that memo. I think Rene Girard did.
I think we need to read the announcement carefully. Are you sure Peter Thiel isn't going to be summoning the Antichrist?
He already did. His name is Elon.
Well, there's a false prophet that sort of announces the Antichrist, and then there's the Antichrist. So, there's your...
Let the past performance be your only guide to the future, because you have Grok now. Just ask it.
Is Peter Thiel the Antichrist?
It'll tell you.
That's true. Grok is the free speech AI, right? So it has to...
It was asked
I'm not kidding you.
If Charlie Kirk survived, and for like a long time, it was like, yeah, Charlie Kirk's fine. It's totally cool. No, everything's...
So this morning, I started a screen recording because Grok would crash. It gave me the name of the shooter and all this stuff. It gave me that before NPR knew that someone was arrested. So I clicked on the thoughts part, and every time I go to thoughts, it crashes the app on the explanation of the shooter. It's weird. Very reproducible defect. Or system behavior, let's put it that way.
Let's call this one in like 5 minutes. This has been a nice, maybe a little bit rowdy room this morning, but I think we've accomplished something. Don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out.
So, really quick, I need to make an announcement. If you're at your store, go to the spice section. Go get yourself a McCormick Global Select Szechuan Pepper Salt and Spice Blend. It'll make your life so much better. And like in days and weeks and months and years like these, we need things that make our lives better.
Well, this is rare. So this is the anti-traffic jam we're having. We've got 4 minutes left. Anyone want to say goodbye or plug anything you've got going on today?
I'm going to go to John's room, but just now coming in the ground news alert. Overthrowing the government, Gen Z Nepali protesters have selected their next interim prime minister via Discord.
I want to announce the fascist crawl tomorrow evening at 5:30. Going around to Palantir, Amazon, going to Amazon twice actually, a couple other billionaire-owned companies, and they end up at a pub and talk about it all.
Sounds.
Post it in the chat.
Anyone else? Free.
I wanted to point out for you, Dr. James, that I don't think fellow from yesterday was remembered so much for his views, which I think are kind of a grab bag of crazy ideas. But I do think that he was instrumental because he reflected people's views, especially in colleges, and kind of shone a light on what people in college were thinking. I think people actually were quite horrified by the ideas that were floating around on these campuses. And that, I think, is a big part of why politics went the way it went in 2024, is that people are kind of horrified by the narratives that are emerging in academia. So
Okay.
that's all I really wanted.
Yeah, thank you.
What was the number one reason that exit polls said that people voted for Trump? Was it the what's going on campuses? Do you remember the exit polls out of 2024?
The number one predictor was whether people had a college education or not.
No. What was the number one reason? That was my question, not the predictor. The number one reason people picked Trump.
People gave, I don't know, usually it's the economy stupid, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So, do you know on the exit poll ranking, the problem with colleges and university, where did that rank in the exit polls? It didn't rank. It didn't come up. Okay, so if you're making a statement like this, that people voted for Trump because they didn't like what was going on in colleges and universities, the least you should do is provide the exit poll data. Otherwise, you're talking out of your ass and you're wasting everybody's time.
Also want to announce September 21st to 28th is Climate Week New York City. It's the biggest climate thing in the world every year. And they have a couple clubhousers who are going to be speaking there. Barbara, who is Dr. Francine's Karma Club co-mod, will be speaking with Peter. I can't ever remember his last name. It's timed to be at the same time as the UN General Assembly, and they'll be speaking at the UN to influencers. So kind of like mini celebs in our midst. And there's a march on Sunday, and then events that you can often tune into virtually. New York Times has panels, different things you can tune into if you don't live in New York.
So I'm going to start
We're saying goodbyes. Keep this at this point to like 30 seconds. Romero, on that.
So I'm going to start calling Sam Fred, because that was savage.
That's funny.
I let Benjamin go in the audience, Benjamin, only because I didn't want that to continue, because I'm trying to close the room, and I just am setting a hard boundary rather than sort of being a little gooey.
I'm sauvage, not savage. I'm a lot classier than that.
All right, Sam, you had your airtime. We'll speak to you again.
All right, well, so we're launching to the moon in 10 minutes.
Nice. We are. Okay, has everyone said their goodbyes? Because I'm ready to not blow this puppy up. That's a horrible analogy. In this room, we're going to have a soft landing. Sorry. Goodbye, everyone. And I'll see you on Monday. Actually, you know what? Look for the Procrastinati Room starting tomorrow at sometime between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We will be the best alternative space on this weekend. join us.
At the same time, but then you have to ask yourself, what is love?
Be careful. Thank you for that clarification. And also in the West Bank, there are many Arabs that don't believe in violence and don't want violence and don't want war. I know it's hard to believe, and maybe you don't see them; they're not visible to you. But I know they exist.
We don't see those peaceful Arabs, Palestinians in the West Bank. This is something that you don't see, but because, as I said, most of the attacks, the terror attacks, are from there. But for Israeli Arabs, I can say for sure that the vast majority of them are peaceful and do not want violence and are part of the Israeli society. I know personally many of them.
Thank you. That's a really good point. So I think like the question is, I think from Hannah's perspective and from the Bibi Kapara's perspective is, you know, even if there's problems in Israel, they feel we should never talk about them. Don't air our dirty laundry. And I feel like newspapers like Haaretz and, you know, human rights organizations from me in America as an outsider make me see something salvageable in Israel. To me, it looks like there's nothing that represents me or my values or the things that we used to be proud of about Israel. Like, it's only because of like truth tellers and people who are willing to keep society healthy and be self-critical and self-reflective is really saving Israeli society. To me, it makes Israel look better, not worse, when we confront problems and talk about hard truths. When we lie about it, it makes Israel just look like North Korea, you know, increasingly a pariah state. Can't ever like be self-reflective, just lie to the public. That doesn't make Israel look good, doesn't make Jewish people look good. It's not good for anti-Semitism around the world. I don't think it helps anybody. Ellie, you have some thoughts?
Yeah, your comment on Haaretz is that's quite an illusion. The problem with Haaretz and their ilk is that they pretend to tell the truth, but it is not. They're not.
You think they're biased?
They're not. It's not about being biased. Their incentives being misaligned with an actual ability to coexist, because their political views are they live in an unworkable paradigm
it's burning
as far as politics goes. So they want to remind the status quo, and they want to position themselves as an alternative view, but not all alternative views are workable.
Okay, so that aside, the paradigm that you disagree with aside, I want to know how you feel about this sort of notion that we should never air dirty laundry or talk about the infighting happening in Israel to people outside, to pretend there's no flaws with the Israeli government, no corruption. Let's close our eyes, stick our head in the sand, and say Israel's amazing and the most moral army in the world and can do no wrong. Do you think that serves Israeli people? Do you think that serves Israel as a state? Do you think it's credible? Do you think it's convincing in any way to anybody?
It's a delicate balance and a kind of difficult question to answer, because
most of us find it thoroughly unconvincing and just make it sounds delusional.
It depends on who are those everyone. So if you split the population into your enemies, the people who are to be convinced, the people who don't give a fuck either way, and your friends, nothing that you would say or no matter how you will conduct yourself will not convince your enemies. The people who don't care will continue not caring. The people who want to be convinced are actually a very small minority, I would say. And to your friends, it actually don't really matter how you will act.
But like a country that dissent is not allowed, right? Like,
no, wait, but before you acknowledge what I've said, like, do you see it differently? Like, do you think your enemies can be convinced with, like, your righteous behavior?
I'm not trying to be righteous. I'm just trying to be accurate.
Whatever. Okay. Either
I'm trying to be accurate. Listen, I come from a position of a journalist who tries to only say things that are fact, and things have to, in this era of digital propaganda war, I have very, very selective high standards, which I know you think Haaretz has an agenda, but they do follow basic journalistic standards, which is a scientific method.
I don't give a fuck about basic journalistic standards. Like, that's not.
I know, but this is a method. This is a scientific method. You believe in science.
No, it's not.
It's not a hard science, but it's a science. Do you know what social science is? Social science has soft science. Is a soft science.
Yeah. My one critique for that whole quote-unquote science is that when you can follow whatever structure that you think that is like fair journalism, but lie by structure and omission, like there is no tomorrow, like, yeah, that throws all your standard out of the window. And they all lie by structure and omission, so I don't really give a fuck whatever they say, no matter if it's a right wing or left wing or a fair journalism or like, unless you're just reporting straight facts, you are narrativizing and you are lying by structure and omission.
So I understand that it would be delusional to say none of us have any bias, and journalists do tend to lean left in America and in Israel, right? At least in Haaretz reporters, right? Like, so to pretend that they don't choose stories or choose what to include or omit isn't shaped by their unconscious bias would be lying, and I would never say that, so I'll concede that point. However, I think they meet the gold standard of reporting, which has been developed over many, many years. I know that people think that we're just propagandists, but there is a standard where we provide attribution. We provide attribution for every claim, and increasingly, because there's distrust in the media, we also show our work. We show
you don't get my criticism. You don't get my criticism. I think journalism should be propagandistic.
Oh, okay.
It should not pretend. It should not pretend not to be, because that's a lie. You just have to be very clear what side you propagandize for, and don't try to delude people into like dispersion signaling. Oh, I'm propagandizing like a neutral position. I'm just speaking the truth. Listen, you have an agenda. It's very clear what your agenda is. It's very clear for everyone. Like, what agenda does the Guardian have? It's like you have to be an imbecile not to like understand who they are and what their goals are. Okay, same for Ynet, same for Haaretz, same for Washington Post, whatever. Like, you
see no value. You see no value in at least attempting to be objective in reporting, and having certain type of journalism that attempts to be objective.
Truthful, and you like. Listen, if you can do dispassionate reporting, that will be self-evident.
You don't think the Haaretz is dispassionate? Do you know the difference between the opinion pages and the reporting pages, the factual pages?
So of course I do know the difference. But when you are the Haaretz, okay, and you have opinion and reporting, yeah, like you can take and you can slice out all their opinions, okay, and just look at their factual reporting, and even there, by the way, they will be selecting stories, okay, so they will be narrativizing in their editorial process of just how they select the story, okay. They will run something and they will not run something else. They will
always, yes, I agree. We conceded this.
They will choose to bury something at the bottom of the page.
That's still not propaganda.
It's unconscious bias, Ellie, but it's not intentional to deceive.
Propaganda is a promotion.
You're purposely misleading.
No, that's the negative association of propaganda.
Ellie, I think what you're talking about is unconscious bias.
Then you're making no distinction. Then, if everything is propaganda, nothing is propaganda. Simply because, like you said,
it's not true.
If everyone has a point of view,
he's muddying facts.
Expressing my view doesn't make it a propaganda.
I was using propaganda in a neutral,
I am as well,
in a negative manner.
Propaganda is intention to deceive. There's no intention to deceive.
No, it's actually not true. But propaganda is a promotion of something.
Okay, Ellie, question.
I've got a question.
All right, my friend, go.
I was just going to ask briefly if you could tell me the title in English.
The It says, from the river to the sea, Buttercup will be free.
It's a good one.
I honestly, can we just add free from the leftism, or can we not do that?
So what?
What?
And we say Buttercup will be free, and then just add the from leftism.
No thanks.
Wait. But
that's not freedom, though.
I had a very specific question to you. I outlined 4 groups of people that you can try to influence with your behavior. Okay, enemies, friends, the people who don't care, and the people who needs to be convinced. Do you think that there is a 5th group?
My goal is not to convince, but I understand what you're saying.
Wait, but you stray from my question.
Okay.
Please just answer.
Say it again. What are the categories? Say them again. Friends, enemies.
Friends, enemies, people to be convinced, and people who don't give a fuck.
I think there's a 5th category.
Okay, go ahead.
I think journalism serves the community. It makes it healthy. I think it's important. What about us? I'm us. I'm us. I'm the community, and I'm in it. I want to say the wider.
You belong to one of the 4 categories.
Which one?
Either a friend, a foe, you don't care, or you need to be convinced.
I don't think that's the point of journalism. Journalism is not going to convince people. It serves the community. It makes it healthy.
Before we talk about journalism, I'm just saying in any conflict, in any let's say for Palestine, for Israelis, for Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 4 categories of people: the friends, the foes, the people who care, and the groups to be convinced. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we as a collective, as a nation, whatever, we run our society. Okay, we run.
So what's the most effective? I think the people who are honest, not the people who sugarcoat and dodge and use euphemisms and lie. That doesn't convince anybody. We're not stupid.
You try to stray away from where I'm trying to lead you. Okay, I have a point, but I'm asking questions to gauge if we are on the same page. My sense, okay, is that. The people who remain to be convinced are very few. Around the world, the people that need convincing.
So why lie then? Why lie? Why just?
Where before we are saying what we do, we lie, we don't lie, whatever. You asked about airing dirty laundry. Okay, I'm addressing that point.
Okay.
I'm saying around the world there are very few people that need convincing. Who have not made their mind, who do not have an affiliation. So basically, whenever you engage in any public, how do you call it, public opinion, you engage in publicity, right? You either talk to your friends, you talk to your enemies, and you do not, the people who don't care don't listen. In any case, correct?
Correct.
So if you saw your dirty laundry, okay, and you're being honest, would that change the mind of your enemies about you?
I don't know that, maybe not enemies, but the people who just don't know a lot of Jewish people, and this is their only impression, you're just going to make them seem like more
they either
sane
don't care
people.
Either they don't care, or they're in the group of needing to be convinced. Most of them in the groups that don't care, so they don't even listen.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are not, who did not make their mind, are very few.
Listen, but I think I think the problem with your analogy is that many people who you see as enemies, I don't see as enemies, because I think if they're critical, they're critical of the Israeli government the same way you are, but you see them as enemies. And so I think that they actually don't hate Jewish people. They're not anti-Semitic. They don't hate Israel even. They may have Israeli friends. They may have Israeli friends. They may have traveled in Israel.
You don't know what I vest in the category of.
We need to be more specific about these definitions then, because I think the enemies category is very small. It's much smaller than you think it is.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean, they think I'm a capo, right, Ellie? I'm an enemy. Do you think I'm an enemy? No. So we have to define these definitions.
Wait. To whom are you an enemy?
To the pro-Israel camp, the Friends. The Friends believe I'm an enemy, right? So what am I?
You are tagged as an enemy for convenience.
What do you consider an enemy? does want Israel's best interest at heart, someone who doesn't want Israel to survive and the people to survive and not get hurt. Like, are those
basically when I think about friend enemy category is just their actions promote the well-being or diminish the well-being, even in small.
So I disagree. I disagree with the category. I promote the well-being of Israel.
Well, I didn't say that you're an enemy. I say you're being tagged as an enemy for convenience.
Okay, and so tag me as a friend. The enemies tag me as a friend.
Yeah, it's okay, but listen, people can be mislabeled. That's okay. But my point is that people either promote your interest or go against your interest in their actions. And most people's actions are very small. For example, most people only influence your well-being or the lack of it by just, having a positive or negative opinion of you. So it's like, when the general opinion of you is good, okay, around the world, so it's just it snowballs, right? Popularity has like this tendency to just spread, and negativity also has the tendency to spread. So if you, for example, if you hold a negative opinion of Israel, you promote the fact that like more and more people are less favorable at Israel, because most people are not critical. Most people are not convinced by facts. Okay. They're convinced by their friends' opinions. Okay, so you can have your best interests at heart, but like in action, you can.
You said people are most convinced by their friends. If the so-called enemies, which I don't consider them enemies, but you see them as enemies of let's say, the state of Israel, if they see me as a friend and I criticize, let's say, both governments as not serving their people, who's more critical, me or Bibi Kapara, who says Israel's perfect and has amazing tomatoes and
You're very concerned with labeling one individual, which is you. But I'm saying, like, obviously,
no, I'm talking about I'm saying why we need to be more honest and less blindly, reflexively pro-Israel all the time. All of us friends.
So I'm saying this is why we have to talk about just how people's opinion work and how general populations are being influenced in terms of opinion, right? So you are thinking that by being truthful, you will spread positivity towards Israel.
Not positivity, but honestly, we don't need to lie to people. I trust people's intelligence. Honest perception. We're not. Israel is neither better than everyone. It's neither worse. We're just normal humans. It's the idea, Ellie. It's the idea that we're humans like everyone else, and we have flaws, and we have good qualities. And the problem is we've been vilified or lionized, and neither is true, and neither is accurate, and neither is credible. Okay. So what we do is when we talk about the truth, we make Israel's humans again. Israelis are humans. They're not monsters, and they're not angels. And that's what we need to promote, because that's accurate.
Most people are completely not receptive to your pleas.
I disagree, because as someone who is camped out with the enemies, as you say, that hasn't been my experience.
No, that's not my point. I can make friends among my enemies. Listen, if I'm having
Ellie and Amos.
One second.
If we don't stop, we will talk till tomorrow. When the other people want to talk in space.
Alright, Amos, go.
Amos, are you feeling left out of the conversation that's being embarked upon? Maybe you can ask if you can interrupt instead of being a bitch.
And before I go out, I want to make commercial in my room that everybody will come to my room.
Okay, you have a permission to speak. Go ahead.
That's why I come here, to make the Buttercup will bring all the people to my room, and maybe only Bibi Kapara, she can, as a liar, Bibi Kapara, she can.
I can keep him. You want me to keep him?
Thank you, Amos. Thank you.
I'll babysit him.
The last time he put all the blame for you in my room, and he put all the garbage on you. So I waited for this time to see who is right and who is wrong. You're Bibi. Yes, Bibi. What do you have to say? That's your time.
So I have a question, and it's kind of sentimenting around what Ellie's saying. Do you think right now is the right time to critique and criticize Israel, or we wait till we get our hostages back and the war stops? Because right now I find that it's very detrimental and it's hurtful. While they're in the middle of a war, sure, they probably need criticism, but can't that wait? I don't know if you see like.
Can I try to respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Well, I was asking you and Buttercup basically because I know it was a question for her, but in my opinion, one of the things that makes Judaism great and one of the things that makes Israel great is, not to use like a tired phrase, but that we are on the right side of history. I think that being on the right side of history should give you some level of confidence that eventually it's going to work out in our favor. And I think that it's important to maintain integrity. And I think if that means being self-critical, so be it. I definitely think that there's a stopping point where we've got to stop short of being self-hating. But I think that being self-critical is one of the things, and being able to look ourselves in the mirror is one of the things that separates us from, the other side.
Foundational to our culture, in my opinion, but maybe not Israeli culture. I don't know.
And then I want to bring up the fact about the New York Times, how they corrected. I don't know if it's taking the conversation in the wrong direction about
It's off topic.
Charlie Kirk.
No, we're not talking.
Is that off topic?
Yesterday was Charlie Kirk.
Okay, so
You played my clips over and over. If you want, you can play the clips to capture how I feel about it.
Maybe
again.
it's going to be Charlie Kirk for a long time, as far as I'm concerned, but it's not my room.
I never played any clips from you. It was just there was a correction made on September 11, 2025. Earlier version of this article described incorrectly on anti-Semitic statement that Charlie Kirk had made on an episode on his podcast. He was actually quoting a statement from a post on social media and went to critique it. It was not his own statement.
There were multiple clips of him on the show talking about the Jewish Marxist funders' dollars that are corrupting our world. Multiple, okay? BB, we're not getting into your anti-Semitic friend right now. We're not talking about Nazis on this show because this is for people against racism and hatred.
My anti-Semitic what?
I'm saying your friend, your anti-Semitic racist Nazi friend, may he rest in peace, may his memory be a blessing, is not the topic, okay?
So who do you think is hurting Israel more, you or him?
You. We're talking about you here, BB. We're talking about you or me, not him.
We're talking about you.
I'd like to talk about me.
Okay, my friend.
No, but I wanted to talk about the statement.
Let's hear a new voice. Jason, speak. What do you want to say?
Exactly. Silencing people that critique.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to say, I think Ellie is maybe oversimplifying, talking about enemies, but they're people who aren't persuadable, more pragmatically, and those people are really out there, and Ellie is right. Going all the way back, propaganda isn't always lying, but propaganda is presenting things that make you look good, and the other side look bad. A lot of the time, that's presenting true stuff, and if you want to win, sometimes you got to do that. And there is a time for a rational and searching evaluation of facts, not just because presenting things that are true, but not presenting them is a way to slant things. And journalists do that. Journalists have to make a choice about which facts to present, and they present the facts that they like and don't always present the facts that they don't like.
I think there's
that process. I'll finish up here. That process where you go through and find the facts that you don't like also, and give them equal weight with the things that you think are important and that you do like. That is something researchers do. That's something intelligence analysts do. That's not something that...
You're wrong, Jason.
It's not something
I'm the only journalist on the stage.
Professionally. Well,
they do. You're wrong. There is a journalistic method, and let me explain it to you, Jason.
There's a lot of stuff written up about this, and even intelligence analysts fail to do it unless they follow a very rigorous methodology. And that is peculiar to their profession.
Unlike any other profession,
you keep saying you're journalists. What articles?
Well, I'm not going to ask you, Buttercup, who you are or what you do. I respect your anonymity, okay? But I certainly have seen a lot of coverage on numerous issues that is not where they have okay, here's the half of the paper that is the things that we believe that are true, and here's all the things that contradict what we have to say.
So I think if you look
that
at
is
any
just very,
mainstream
it
paper,
would be
listen, if you
very
look
long.
at, you're wrong though, because you're stating misfacts.
Well, what if we have a more structured discussion here? Because I was just about to finish up.
Okay, so
all right. And there's a structured process for that, but it's not always the time to do that.
Okay.
And so I can see the argument.
So now's the time for propaganda.
I can see the argument these guys are making that what we're up against is people who are putting their best facts forward. Maybe it's time for us to put our best facts forward.
Got it. Thank you.
I was, by the way, not making any normative suggestions. Like, I wasn't saying what is right. I was just trying to explain how people label someone and try to engage with what reality is.
Okay.
Descriptive, not prescriptive.
I just want to correct something about journalism that Jason said. There are some publications that blur the line between fact, opinion, and dispassionate reporting, right? But any mainstream publication, anything that is perspective, they will label as either analysis or opinion. That's like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Haaretz. They would never, ever, it's a big faux pas, a big taboo to ever conflate opinion with dispassionate reporting. I will admit that, of course, everyone has unconscious bias, and like Ellie pointed out accurately, that there are choices that are made what to include and what to omit, and that has to do with the reporters or editors' bias or even the publication's bias. But I think usually the interest is not in validating their worldview, but whether or not it's newsworthy, whether or not it's interesting to the public, whether it counteracts mainstream narratives. That's usually the judgment that's made, whether to include a story or not include a story. In fact, I've written in my career as a journalist, I've written extensively about political corruption, mostly about liberals, mostly about Democrats, because that's where I live. I live in a liberal area. And what I do, even when it challenges the mainstream liberal orthodoxy, we think it's especially newsworthy because it challenges people's worldview, and that makes it interesting, and that's why it makes the front page. So I think this sort of like this binary that we have, that like it's left, right, is not always the case. I think journalism is motivated by what's interesting to people, what's relevant to people, and what challenges the normative view. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Ellie.
You can claim that from individual reporters and individual journalists when you have a publication. That publication shapes shapes around some political bent that either the main, how they call it, main redactor, what's the word?
You mean the editor?
The lead editor or the most amount of people, like their political affiliation, that work for that publication.
Yeah, there is unconscious bias. Like I said, I'm talking about motivation.
Or their customers, because they have to cater to some people who pay them, or the advertiser. Great
point. So let's take Israel ecosystem. There are television.
I'll just finish. Okay. Just hand waving that away and saying, oh, it's just unconscious bias. No. Okay, you should own up to that and not try to gaslight people that should not have this bent. It's okay.
No, a lot of publications, they're proud of their independence they don't tell people what they want to hear. There are television, especially in US and in Israel, tell people what they want to hear because they have advertisers and they have a model that primarily wants to give people, the subscribers, what they want. But
okay,
journalism,
you think The Guardian is not catering to an audience?
The Guardian is a British publication. I'm much more familiar with libel laws and standards in America and a little bit in Israel, but not in Britain. Britain has a whole different view, a whole different set of laws. So I don't really know.
But the business model is still based on...
No, there are standards and laws. There's actually case law about this. You can sue for libel.
You can completely use that model and completely cater to your audience. That's totally...
it's illegal. In America, they sued Fox News for billions of dollars.
But you know, we spoke about it, and like, I think like 3 days ago, the liable you can sue as a person or as an organization, not as for example, as a country, or the IDF, or Jews, okay? This cannot happen.
No. People in power, politicians, countries, entities should not have protection. They should be scrutinized till the end of day, right? This is for the protection of the people. Institutions, countries are not people.
I'm talking about hold on, we're talking about media, and I'm talking about the
media and libel are designed to protect me and you and Israelis.
One second. I'm talking about the media and accountability, and you were talking about critical information. And I'm saying that this protection
For good
is for
reason.
individuals.
For good reason.
One second, please, Monica.
Okay.
Like, I don't like, am I triggering you? Or just like, I literally
No,
just started talking about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I heard you say.
This protection is for individuals and for like organizations. They have a name, okay? Not for Jews, not for the IDF, not for Israel, not for Zionists, not for Muslims, not for any of this, okay? So accountability, it's about individuals.
I agree with you.
And it's not relevant for the conversation.
And there's a good reason for this, Daniel. The point of journalism, I think the old phrase is you need to afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. The point is not to serve powerful entities like the Israeli government or like Jewish institutions that are fighting for Israel's reputation or like things like this. The point is to serve the people. A society is only as healthy as its free press.
Why is it okay for you to criticize the Jewish institutions, but it's not okay for Charlie Kirk to criticize the Jewish institutions?
We're not talking about Kirk right now. We're talking about this is.
You just used the phrase Jewish institution.
Is not liable, and you can't be sued for it.
And if you want to talk about language,
that I think relates to what Ellie is saying. Okay, partial truths are a good way to shape people's views. And
the country is still
it's very
shocked
hard
and
to sue
horrified by
anyone
yesterday's
for presenting
assassination of
partial
conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
This is not harmful though to present.
Without suspicion.
Wait, you are dancing around and you're shifting the goalposts. I'm sorry. This is what disingenuous behavior.
Alright, do you want to clarify? Do you want to move the goalpost back?
Yes, because the goalpost is, I'm saying, you like any journalistic venue. Usually, and there are some exceptions. That like you can find the most dispassionate papers or whatever on some political topic, usually on business.
You like Wall Street Journal?
On business and economics,
Let's say, and then you read it, and you have the feel that they're not bending some political line. Okay, so for me, that would not be propaganda because they're not promoting something. They're just.
You're actually wrong. Economics is a very polarized thing, and people might sound dispassionate.
Economics itself is, but when they report on politics, they report on it much more dispassionately than, for example, someone who deals much more with politics. Like, and it's like you talk about Haaretz, you talk about I talk about the Guardian, and so on and so on. Okay, when
First of all, let's take Haaretz again.
I do not. What?
Haaretz, they do separate opinion pages from reporting.
I don't care what they separate.
I know, but someone said they don't separate, and they do.
Listen, I don't fucking care.
We haven't even looked at the paper, and you're criticizing it.
This is like.
But they do separate. Let's just start with basic facts. They separate opinion from facts.
I didn't say that they don't separate.
Okay,
I'm saying that they are propaganda. Okay, because they shape a political narrative. Okay, but some people, like you in this instance, you are trying to paint a picture which is completely disingenuous and wrong. Okay, that they follow some strict rigid magic rules.
Magic rules. These have been developed for many years.
Listen. That make them report dispassionately. You cannot gaslight.
They aspire to it. I didn't say it's perfect.
It's not even. Listen, when you inspire to something, like you should be at least like aspire. You should be at least somewhat close to it. But no, Haaretz is not close to it. The Guardian is not close to it. And why?
Who is close to it? Ellie.
So I'm saying when I read Wall Street Journal, for example, it is much closer to it because they do not have a clear political leaning that I can detect usually. Okay? And this is just, it's a vibe test. If a paper doesn't pass the vibe test, so apparently they're propaganda. Like,
it's not a scientific
yes, it's not scientific.
A vibe test, that's your subjective vibe test.
Yes, I'm not a scientist. Okay,
but I am, because I went to journalism school and I know the method.
No, a journalist is not a scientist. They are a
But we have a method, just like scientists do. And Ellie, who I think is a scientist, right, knows that there's scientific method.
I'm a software engineer, and even that barely. But listen again, and I'm listen.
And there's certain.
Listen,
quality control, right? We have quality control in journalism too.
I do not
We have several layers of quality control.
Listen, I do not.
You want to hear about that?
I do not have. I don't care. Like I do not.
Don't care. You don't want to learn.
No, it's not that I don't want to learn because you're missing my main point. Okay, I do not have like, for example, in Israel, I do not have a particular party or political affiliation in Israel because my views do not align neatly with anyone in Israel. Usually, like on some, I would probably be labeled as an enemy by the same people that would mark you as one for many of the same reasons. For example, much before October 7, when I was trying to tell in Jewish rooms that people should stop banging the gavel on this whole anti-Semitism thing every time that someone criticizing Jews, I was kicked out of rooms, okay? Just a small example, okay? And I still stand behind that. I think it was the completely wrong thing to do in terms of like
counterproductive, undermines actual
but listen, my reason is not because it's counterproductive. My reason is because
what does it do? Does that cheapen the word anti-Semitism? What does it do?
It doesn't cheapen anything. The problem is completely different. The problem is that the world is much like a schoolyard, okay? And people get bullied when they show some behaviors and some ways of like basically that show that they're vulnerable. Screaming anti-Semitism on the schoolyard where there are bullies is just attracts the completely wrong type of attention.
Okay. So Ali, so what do you feel what Buttercup's doing? You think that's good for the Jewish people?
I think it's not
for the Jewish people. Mayor Bibi, who calls people.
By the way, it is.
No, you got to answer this. Who's worse for Jewish people?
He said it's not good.
No, but who's worse, Mayor Bibi for Jewish people? Be honest.
You put me in a top bite. I would say probably Bibi, but I have to.
Bibi's worse for the Jewish people, right?
But say why? Say why?
Amos also thinks they're worse for the Jewish people. I think there's a consensus.
I'll know why. My reasoning would be completely different from what you think.
Exactly. I want to know why.
On the playground where there are bullies, okay, and there are those some people, okay, are convinced by a charismatic behavior, so you kind of attract their attention and their like respect, okay.
Mayor Bibi, we're both charismatic.
No, I'm talking about you. No, both of you are not. But I think putting yourself in a victim position is worse than being like someone who's like criticizing your own kind of group. You would attract much more fire, Buttercup, but Bibi would degrade the respect of people who like are on the fence or like not caring.
Okay, and which is worse, Bibi, right?
Yeah, but by the way, what you do in the same like psychological aspect is that you elevate the spirits of the enemy. So
so what's worse?
Ellie.
But the spirits of the enemy is not a huge factor for you actually, because like the enemy can have glee and they think that they're winning because they have those traitors inside their camp and blah blah blah, and they can be overconfident and that will just hurt them in the long run. But when you lose the kind of tacit support or respect of
but who's more credible, me or Bibi, when we criticize Hamas or violent resistance or the October 7th?
I'm not after credibility.
The person who tells the truth or the person who spouts propaganda all the time?
I'm not for credibility. I'm for being successful on the schoolyard.
It's not. You don't think it's successful? When I brought my Palestinian friend on and to talk to other Palestinians, they agree with her that Hamas failed the people.
So what did that change?
Saying we want to bring moderate voices. This place is so polarized. It's good to have moderate voices to remind us that the vast majority of people are somewhere in the middle. This place is not reality. It's not real life.
We are in a place as a consensus for anything. This is not statistically validated. It represents a group of self-selected people who come onto the app. It doesn't represent a cross-section of anything. So,
but it doesn't, it's so polarized. Both sides are represented as these caricatures of themselves, and I don't think it's accurate of the human sample size. a real
Right,
time.
but you just said before that there's a consensus that one was better than another. No, you can't draw a consensus from one person's opinion or even a couple people in Clubhouse's opinion. This is not statistically valid in any such.
And the truth is, Ellie, I would argue we're not trying to change. You agree that we're not really changing anyone's minds anyway.
Yes, you're doing you're doing like mental masturbation and
for me personally.
Yeah, but no, for me as well. Like I'm guilty.
You're not expecting to change anyone's minds, right? So why am I a threat to the Jewish people, like these Bibi Kapara said?
Because it's very uncomfortable. People in your camp undermining your positions. It's very.
Don't you think it makes Jews look good that some of us are moderates and all of us are fucking right-wing lunatics?
No, because they're not convincing anyone that needs to be convinced.
I mean, I think it reflects that not all of us are fascistic Bibi Kahanist lunatics. I think it's healthy. It's healthy to represent the spectrum of opinion in our community.
None of those people are persuadable. None of those people are persuadable, Buttercup.
I'm not trying to convince. I'm just trying to represent a full cross-section of our community, not just the crazy radicals.
I mean, it doesn't help. It does make Jews look bad to
have moderates among us?
Yeah. You're not a moderate, Buttercup.
What am I, Jason?
You're a left-wing extremist.
Okay,
absolutely. You just don't want to hear the cold hard truth. But...
Okay. Thanks. Daniel, you want to speak? Do you have anything to say? Othello, what do you think? Am I a left-wing extremist?
You're asking somebody who hates Jews.
No, he doesn't.
I do think you throw around that word Kahanist a little bit too much.
I say it tongue-in-cheek, and I've said over and over again.
Because
I know that you and Bibi, we call it... Amos started it. Amos says you guys are Kahanis, they're Nukhba, the lefties.
Oh, just because he started it doesn't mean you need to pile.
Why? I think it's funny. It's funny on the side.
It's a known fact that people like Bibi, Rabbi, Harry, make Jews look so bad. They've been doing it for the past 3, 4, 5 years, and they don't give a fuck, right? I think, Buttercup, when I see someone like you come on the app, I have hope for humanity, and I have hope because I know that there's a lot of Jews like you, like to treat Jews as a monolith.
Like me.
Yeah, like Amos as well. You guys are a bridge to the rest of the world, so that we can have healthy dialogue and not push weird ass. White supremacist, right-wing Jewish supremacist ideologies, and I appreciate you, Butter.
Thank you.
Really, you said thank you. Maybe I want to address it, Buttercup. So you think that the Jews that think differently than Buttercup and sometimes Amos are, what did you say, supremacist, white... what can you say this again?
Jewish supremacists.
White supremacists. Jewish white supremacists.
This is why I say white supremacists, because you guys mod rooms and support people like Pepe, who say the N-word.
You guys.
And Charlie Kirk is a supremacist.
Pepe is the catch-all. Catch-all for everything.
In rabbis' rooms, right?
Who's
They say the N-word 50 times a room, and you guys are cool.
Who's doing this?
Oh, you N-word. Oh, you N-word.
Who is doing
Rabbi? You know Rabbi?
Black
Rabbi? This is a Clubhouse live stream.
Rabbi.
Which Rabbi?
This is put on by a young girl named Buttercup. She's a journalist and an extreme left-wing liberal
She's not Jewish.
lunatic.
She's an anti-Semite.
He's not Jewish?
No, and Count My Shekels is an anti-Semitic trope. He's not Jewish.
He's a Jew hater that is basically saying as Jews.
Jews don't say Count My Shekels. It's an anti-Semitic stereotype.
You spread hate about Jews, and you fell for it, dude.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. You guys still mod rooms with Pepe.
So
everything, Pepe!
There's another one. What do you want for? So you're claiming that that we are nationalists and like the white supremacists is because of Pepe and another.
You guys do flirt with them. You flirt with them.
No, you guys.
Daniel, the room does like to flirt with white supremacists.
And Buttercup, it flew right over her head. She was like, "I'm fine with like."
Yeah, you guys gotta hear this. They're talking about you guys. This is hilarious.
Like the rest of the 99% like white supremacists, whatever you call it. That's fine. For me, it seems that the sort of information is one Jew hater and Pepe. None of them are Jewish.
No, Daniel, it is a problem that your room flirts with Jew haters.
What? You're flirting with terrorists.
No, I'm not.
So what does it mean?
No one's a terrorist on this app. They're all American. Who's a terrorist? What are you talking about?
And we're flirting with who? Excuse me?
So the people that you champion, not you personally, but people in your room, lionize and your country.
So hold on.
Lionize people like Charlie Kirk, who I believe is a white supremacist.
Yeah, Issa.
So you people is who exactly?
Issa, Mr. You know when you're in those rooms with Issa and Mr. and you guys are just calling each other.
Who's Mr.?
Yeah, you know who Mr. is.
I don't know who that is.
You talking about Mr. Anderson?
Yes, yes.
He's literally like he would support Hitler. He would take a gun and shoot Jews himself.
Okay, and those are your
examples of why you hate Jews because of Jew haters. Dude, wow, man. Listen, I have nothing here. I have nothing. I mean, dude.
There will not stop argument those two people. I just want you to make commercials.
You don't need a commercial break every 10 minutes, Thomas.
Yeah, exactly. Every 10 minutes you have to stop and, it's an argument between Othello and Daniel.
This has been No One Cares Q, Frank. I'm going to credit everyone.
Days from now. They like to talk. They talk.
Everyone, go to Amos's room. He's waiting for you with tea and coffee.
And there is a cake. Don't forget. Cake also.
Uga.
And I hope you are the first my guest in my room. I hope. Keep doing your thing, Buttercup. Don't let these guys gaslight you. Keep doing your thing.
Listen, Daniel, I like talking to you because you're reasonable, but like a lot of the folks you share a room with, they are a little like fanatical and blind and reflexively just Israel. They fetishize Israel and it doesn't. No one finds it convincing. It's not coherent. It doesn't make sense. You're a rational person. Doesn't it bother you that they do this?
No, it bothers me that you are taking one or two people and you're trying to use this as a wide brush. Doesn't matter. And and when I would say this, if I would say the same to you, I say, okay, so if you are with basically hanging out and chilling with people that would basically slaughter your family and are supporting Hamas, literally, not just like innuendos, like supporting and resistance.
Oh my God, look who it is, Donald, you're still alive. There must be a God. Praise God, you're alive, Donald. Praise God, you're alive, Donald. I thought.
Yeah, but I can do it.
When they say things praise God, there must be a God if you're still alive, Donald. Oh, we're so lucky you're with us. God must be real. Donald, there must be a God. You're proof, Donald. You're proof. Let me proof. Donald, that there is a God. Praise the great and glorious God for Donald still alive. I thought you were dead, Donald. I thought you weren't with us anymore, brother. But praise God, it's another miracle. From Charlie Kirk's assassination and his ashes rises Donald. Donald, you're alive. You're alive, dear Donald, my friend. You are alive, Donald. You're alive. Okay, Donald, I am complete. Thank you, Donald.
Whatever the long sentence, it was very
spaces for anti-blackness.
Point you guys. So I'm here, and give me one name of one space that I created that you have a problem that one something that I did or said.
The spaces with Issa, right?
You can have a problem with my spaces with Issa.
And that is not a room that harbors Islamophobic and anti-black sentiments while you guys sit around and laugh.
First of all, you're talking about their room, not mine. This is a room that you created.
It doesn't matter.
Can I speak?
I just joined the house, Donald. Thank you so much for creating this room. I'd like to try to convince you that God exists. If I may have a couple of 60 seconds of your time.
Give me a screenshot from this room. Go.
Alright, Othello, in fairness.
Wanna bet? This is the concept of Issa's room.
Okay, just listen, and this is another clubhouse room. Ocean is a homosexual bookseller and loves talking about how he wants to get his ass rammed.
I would never mod with this fucking Mr. Robinson. He's a vermin, okay? So don't give me this shit.
So he disavowed his views, Othello. Let's move on from this, okay?
Okay.
I don't disavow. Like I don't. He's not even a human. Like I don't want to talk about him, but you painting a brush on me because of people that are in a room with. It's disgusting. It's basically you.
I have to say, Othello, I
If
found
you have a problem with people, if you have a big problem with people, take it with them. But to exploit them in order to spread hate about Jews, I had enough of it. And I'm here, and you keep on saying, you guys.
This is my last statement.
So maybe don't make it.
I don't want to see you guys, the Jewish people on this app, mod rooms and celebrate people like Pepe, right? Who said 2 days ago, who asked Buttercup if she was hot enough to be raped on October 7th.
So, you know what? I would ask you guys, because I see a lot of black rooms, I would ask you guys to stop creating rooms against Jews. And I hear a lot of like you guys, and I would ask, I don't know if you're an Islamist or Muslim, but I would ask you guys to also stop having rooms constantly all over Clubhouse, like spam about Jews. Just, you know, do a routine of like searching for the Israeli flag once in a while and see how many rooms are in Arabic obsessive about Israel, okay?
What do you think about this room?
The day that Charlie Kirk died, there were like 4 rooms at the same time saying Israel did it or Jews did it at the same time.
I don't join.
So you guys need to stop this before you come to us and say anything. So we can both play the you guys. We can both play the you.
Now listen, I don't join any rooms about Jews. I join rooms about specific people in certain communities.
Mixed, I'm bringing you up because I want a different voice, but don't yell, okay?
From the river to the sea.
Mixed, don't yell. Talk quietly. You want to say something?
Why'd you get rid of the other guy?
I didn't get rid of anyone. He got rid of himself. Mixed, do you want to say something?
Thank goodness.
Yeah.